So, I would like to talk about the motion of eternal resignation again, but in more details this time. So, I prepared a bit of a few notes on it, and basically to start off with, the expression of letting go, and it's very similar to that, except you resign on things eternally. So you might have one specific thing that you keep resigning on, or you may resign on everything at once. And this is what I'm gonna talk about: resigning on everything at once. So you look at your life, at everything, at existence, and you sort of you resign on it, and then you sort of rest in the pain. You start to you start to you see the pain of your fear, the fear of sadness, decay, loss, and death, and it's still there, but you sort of find some tranquil place to see it all from, and within this place, this exhausting carousel of avoidance and denial is brought to a halt. Um, so so whatever it is in your life that's um, that makes you run around so much, instead of just sitting, leaning back and enjoying, that usually, for some people at least, they're motivated by fear. It's like a negative motivation, so they're trying to avoid the fear of um, uh, being inactive in some way, or they never got to the point, I guess, where they really found something they really like and went for it. Instead, they're still trying to just avoid the bad things, and that's not really a way of living. So again, once you've resigned on everything, you become more than just a robot responding to your surroundings. You get the opportunity to see clearly again. And the more you do it, you may not be able to. I for instance, do it while meditating, trying to resign on everything, uh, and uh, and do it by this eternal motion, so that whatever comes up, I resign on it immediately. So 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 yeah, you get to step back a bit, and once you do that, maybe you get out of all this negative motivation where you're running from something instead of to something. You can say it's a passive submission to the world. You submit to your existence and all the bad stuff and all the good stuff, but you do it passively by doing nothing about it. And the mind gains an objectivity of itself, it unhooks from itself, and just accept everything as it currently is. So through this view, you you see everything differently. You get time again to think, to start over, instead of just constantly being that robot, completely reacting by habit to everything that goes on about around itself. And mm, 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 mm. So also I wrote, the motion cuts short that which prematurely grieves an arriving tragedy, and that ill hope that insists nothing can be known of what's to come. It allows one to reconsider priorities and focus instead of following the power of habit and base reasoning. You get some sort of rest from it. This uh, usually the mind is so caught up in all these habits going around, reacting to the outside. So you get a it's very it's a different kind of rest. It's a good kind of rest instead of the usual the all too common kind of rest in front of the TV where you sort of go into a trance and zone out and whatever. Kierkegaard is the one who he invented this expression, motion of eternal resignation, and he gave one example of one night of eternal resignation. It is, imagine in the old days when there's a princess and then there's some very poor fella who has no chance of even getting in the vicinity of her. There's just no chance of it. He's apparently he's very poor and very limited with resources or whatever is required to get to know this princess. So he realizes it, and he instead of trying to lie to himself about it or to instead of roaming around in denial or avoidance, he looks at it even though it's painful, and he resigns on the princess, and then he sort of moves on, but the pain is still there. But he's still there. He's not gonna be gonna be pouting about this. He's not gonna be angry or anything. He has the pain. He loves this girl and this princess, and he keeps loving her, but he resigns on getting her. So once the motion of eternal resignation is completed, there's an opportunity for another motion. It is the finite motion of faith, a motion that conquers the moment in its entirety by means of the absurd. It is the ultimate defiance of the physical existence. By this motion, the mind gets where it will, with no concern of the protesting reason. So you use your faith to move on, to get inside a state of mind that you want. You defy reality. So in this case, with this poor fellow who has no resources and no way of gaining his love, the princess, he first resigns on it, just like the night of eternal resignation, and then he turns. If he is the knight of faith as well, he even though he already resigned on this princess, he still believes that he's gonna get her. He knows there's nothing he can do at all, but he believes, he insists on getting the princess. And so in that sense he defies reality, because reality is saying that he cannot get this princess. There's no doubt about it in this story. So So the Knight of Eternal Faith, or the Knight of Faith, I guess, he defies this reasoning. He believes no matter what, he's certain that he's gonna get his love, the princess, even though there's no way it's gonna happen. That's the point. It's a simple point, but I think it's an important point. As Kierkegaard writes, and this is my translation, was it not better to remain by faith, and is it not revolting that everyone goes on, when in our time, and it shows in different ways, one won't remain by love? Where does one end? In earthly cleverness, pity, calculation, in wretchedness and shabbiness, in all that which makes the divine heritage of humankind doubtful. And I can only agree with that. That's true. That's like 100 years later, this is what we have. There's no faith anymore. There's no faith in people are not. As I said, they're still trying to run away from the scary stuff, like buying all these insurances in order to avoid financial disaster if something happens. And instead, another way to be, as he says, why not just stop, remain by faith, and that everything will be alright. That just keep the faith, and stop this fucking calculation, petty earthly calculation. You can run around in circles forever, but what you really need to realize is by faith you get something different. I'm not talking God faith or religious faith. I'm talking like cosmic faith, and you can call the universe God or whatever. It's all the same to me, really. and so, for instance, what I'm doing myself now is to just instead of giving in to my fear of running out of money and stuff, I just keep doing what I like to do, and expect that'll bring me some money eventually. I have faith in it. I have faith in it that everything is gonna be amazing, basically. Not just fine, but amazing. My life is gonna be fucking amazing. And that's why I choose to place my faith. And it may never happen, but I feel just in having that faith, and choosing to strive for having such a faith, it makes it gives me more free will. I can go in this moment. I can feel better because I believe that everything is gonna be amazing, basically. And that's worth something, that in this moment you feel better. Also, I believe that it grants a positive mindset that that gives your own reality a boost towards where you want to go. So anything, use your faith to go wherever the fuck you want, and the chance will be higher that you get there if you have faith in it, than if you so to speak am realistic. If you are realistic, that's what they all say. Be realistic, but fuck it, don't be realistic. Just just go where you want to go. Just believe, have faith, and maybe a disaster will come. And so fuck it, got a good role. But I don't think, really think that the more positive you are, the more you believe in good things, the more good things will happen. And you can choose for yourself. Choose yourself. Imagine a world where everybody stood by faith. Nobody would buy fucking insurance all the time or go to work all the time. At least not the kind of work that they don't like. More people would probably grow their own vegetables in their gardens and use time that way instead, and just have faith that everything's gonna be alright. And also with more control of the mind in order to resign more. Suffering isn't that big of a deal. The more you gain control of your mind, the less big of a deal suffering really is. So you suddenly don't have to be so obsessed about your own survival. It's really a cowardice way of living, being obsessed with survival all the time. But that's what we're taught, so it's very normal that's what's happening.